Part 17. Universal Conformity and Impartial Love. Grand Strategies. Mozi's Warring States Stability Plan. The era of the Spring and Autumn and Warring States, this historical great stew, saw the Zhou son of heaven's authority chewed down to nothing by the separate governance of the various vassal states. Our man Mozi, amidst this chaos, hadn't forgotten the good old days of emperors Yao and Shun. Back then, everyone trusted the ruler, management policies were enacted, and the masses listened and obeyed every word. The tribes were thriving, and the customs were as simple as freshly washed cabbage. Looking at the present, Mozi slapped his thigh, identifying the root of the problem. Good heavens! 10 people can come up with 10 different opinions on one matter. If we follow all 10 plans, it's bound to end up as a complete mess. As a proclaimed ideological engineer determined to fix social disorder, Mozi proposed his secret to warring state stability, encapsulated in 2 domineering characters: Shang-Tung, universal conformity. In plain language, want success? You must maintain a unified opinion. The question then was, whose opinion should prevail? Mozi, ever the pragmatist, not only had an idea, but also an instruction manual. His solution was, report up the hierarchy, listen to the highest official. The common folk would report their opinions to local officials, who would compile them and issue a final solution, which everyone would follow. Tracing this up the chain of command, the ultimate authority would naturally be the king's word. To this end, Mozi left behind a highly obedient, famous saying: "What the superior considers right, all must consider right. What the superior considers wrong, all must consider wrong." See, this was all for the sake of unified purpose and concerted effort. This theory has the distinct flavor of a theoretical embryo for the later democratic centralism, although Mozi's centralization leaned a bit toward autocracy. Mozi himself first tested this management method within his own Moheist corporation. As the supreme leader, the old man held the unchallengeable ultimate decision-making power, implementing iron-fisted management, absolutely no sentimentality internally. The most fascinating irony is that the Confucian school, which Mozi vehemently criticized for its emphasis on the golden mean and gentle refinement, has thrived all the way to the present day. Conversely, the Moheist school, with its hardline management, gradually vanished into thin air after flourishing for about 200 years. Is there a connection between this democratic centralism and the Moheist school's collective disappearance? It truly is a thought-provoking, unsolved mystery. Mozi knew, of course, that merely demanding obedience wouldn't solve everything. After laying the theoretical groundwork for Shang-Tung, he used another 2 characters to propel his philosophy to its glorious zenith, securing the name Mozi forever in the Hall of Fame of Chinese civilization's masters. These 2 characters were Jian-I, impartial or universal love. Mozi, the warring states philanthropist, believed that the root cause of the current world chaos, interstate warfare, mutual deception between rulers and ministers, abandonment between fathers and sons, and fratricide among brothers, was simply that people do not love each other. The human instinct is self-love, which is nature. Look at our children. They instinctively want to take possession of things they like. That's why the story of a 4-year-old yielding a pear can be passed down for over 2,000 years. It's an epic feat. Mozi insightfully struck at the heart of human nature with soul-searching questions. Nations don't love each other? That's why they fight. Rulers and ministers don't love each other? That's why there's deception. Fathers and sons don't love each other? That's why there's abandonment. Mozi's solution: love others while loving yourself. If you treat the country of others as you treat your own, nations won't fight. If you treat others' families as you treat your own, neighbors will be harmonious. If you can achieve loving others as you love yourself, then beautiful states like a benevolent ruler, a loyal minister, a loving father, and a filial son will naturally come about, like fruit ripening on the vine. Mozi proclaimed with conviction, "If everyone in the world loves each other impartially, there will be order. If everyone hates each other, there will be chaos." Looking back at Confucius's highest ideal, a benevolent person loves others. Doesn't that connect with the original root of loving people in Chinese civilization? It is precisely this benevolence of loving others that has granted Chinese civilization its astonishing inclusiveness. No matter what ethnic group enters, they are ultimately dissolved and absorbed into this civilization, centered on loving people, becoming one with it. Poverty for self-cultivation, success for worldly service. Mozi's career. The masters of ancient times were all engaged with the world. They didn't just lecture in study halls or bury themselves in writing, they paid close attention to political affairs. They adhered to a necessary belief for a gentleman, summarized by Zhuangzi: cultivate oneself, regulate one's family, govern the state, and bring peace to the world. This goal is so grand, it's mind-boggling. Mencius was more practical. If poor, perfect oneself. If successful, benefit the world. Translation: haven't succeeded yet? Stay quiet and secretly practice. Have you succeeded? Hurry up and help everyone under the heaven. Mozi was undoubtedly one of the successful ones. He wasn't just a theorist who talked a good game. He used his knowledge, craftsmanship, and reputation, traveling extensively between various vassal states like an international mediator and part-time philanthropist of the warring states period, putting his Gen I philosophy into action. Though the master has long since passed away, the combination of obedience and universal love continues to influence us.